Wow, all these blues and no guitars to play them on. I just wish I knew what guitar was perfect for the Delta Blues sound.
Hi, KBR Blues here, back again with another video. Have you encountered this problem before? Well, I'm here to sort that out. Okay, so guitar 1 of the guitar arsenal. Basically, this is a parlor guitar. Parlor guitars were invented for women because women weren't capable of playing dreadnoughts apparently, and obviously still are not. So, a parlor guitar is a smaller bodied acoustic guitar. They were supposed to be portable, kind of a learning instrument, and they weren't very loud. I picked this one up in Brighton when I was driving my friend's band's metal band on their tour, and I saw this in the shop for £40, and I was like, it looks exactly like the guitar off the Howlin' Wolf album cover. And then I always thought that guitar looked like Charlie Patton's as well, or the type Charlie Patton would play. Now, there are some cons that come along with owning one of these, and that is often the neck has no truss rod, never did, and will be bowed like hell. The neck would be bowed, and pretty much the guitar would be rendered to a decoration in a restaurant or just a slide guitar, and I'm only using this guitar for slide. I only use this as a recording piece, a decoration, or something just to fool around on when I feel like it. It does have its own sound, and that's why I don't plan to get rid of it, but I would not gig this. At the most I would take it out to the park to have a jam, because I don't have to worry about anything happening to this. It was £40 in a vintage shop. So I'm going to play some of it for you now. The strings are nearly an inch above the fretboard, and that makes anything else unplayable. Even if I go to do the E7 type shape, those notes already start bending out of tune, so you can imagine trying to fret a 5 chord. It actually goes minor. In other words, be good at slide if you're going to have one of these, or find one in good condition, but you're going to be looking at spending a lot more. Probably starting at 500 quid if you find one in good condition. So we looked at the cheapest acoustic guitar out of the 4 that's here. Now we're going to look at the cheapest resonator guitar. This one has a name and has a price, and actually still doesn't have a definitive place you can get one from because it's a discontinued model. This is a Fender Roosevelt. They weren't around for very long, I don't know why, but I managed to get one when I was looking at getting my first resonator. It's a spider bridge resonator. Now, I've mentioned this in other videos, but there are 3 main kinds of resonators. You have a spider bridge like this one, which is preferred by bluegrass players and country players, and then you have, like on this one, which we'll get to later, you have biscuit bridges, and then you have tricones, and the difference between these two is just that the speaker cone is inverted between them. So this one's like a bowl, this one's like a dome, and then a tricone has 3 domes. So yeah, these are mostly used for lap style guitars. These mostly come in square necks. This one's a round neck, and you'll hear licks like, oh, we're in G. Yes, we're in open G. So you'll hear licks like this. So, the thing with this model specifically is that it's a great performing resonator. It's got quite a small body, and it has an electric pickup, and this means you don't get so much feedback when you're playing live. It's also got a Telecaster neck, so something very familiar to electric players, and normal action. They come with regular action, so the height between the strings and the fretboard, and it really does feel like an electric guitar, but it's actually a resonator. I know there are some guitar companies which build mixtures between like a 335 and a resonator type guitar, but I really like this one because it's a good balance, and it's a very smart looking guitar as well. This is great if you're playing in a rock band and feel like doing live stuff. So I'm going to play some of this in open G now. So as well as a Telecaster pickup, this also features a piezo pickup, which is more like a contact microphone. It's a mixture between a regular pickup and a contact mic. And you can blend the two with this knob, control the volume of the tele pickup with that one, and the piezo volume with this one. If you want a full review of how it all plugs in and all that, there are other videos doing that. I'm not going to do that today. So this half of the video is going to be upper range models and kind of going up in the price. So we've already looked at a 40 quid parlor guitar, second hand obviously, a 400 quid. Now if you want to buy them new, websites will say 520, but they're discontinued, so whatever. But you can buy this very one off me for £400. I'm selling this at this moment in time as I make this video. Our next guitar is a 1964 Gibson LG0. Now the Gibson LG0 was kind of a student model in the 60s, and despite it being a student model, it was still made by Gibson, made by the same people who made the 50s Les Pauls and stuff like that. It was made by the same people, then they're still brilliant quality guitars. They just have less features than the LG1 or the LG2. So with the LG1 or 2, I imagine, there's a glued down pickguard instead of a screwed in one, which has been taken off and lost on this model. You'd have probably an ivory or plastic binding. You'd have a nice sunburst. In my opinion, this guitar is perfect for the Robert Johnson fingerpicky style blues stuff. If you're looking to do those, to get that piano sound that he was known for. I would suggest this guitar because it's got a super thin neck and a really good spacing between the strings for that kind of, for getting your fingers in there, but at the same time, if you wanted to take it out and do some big old country chords, if you felt like it, you could. It's not too loud either, so if you are kind of living in a flat and want to do some strumming every now and again without annoying the neighbors, you can. So yeah, 1964 Gibson LG0. You can pick these up on Reverb at the moment. They're going for about £1,100. But you can find good deals as well. The final instrument we're looking at today is a National Delphi from 1995. This is probably la creme de la crop, and if you are looking for kind of something that will do everything with volume and with power, and if you want to be obnoxious, then this is kind of what you want. These weigh loads. Compared to this resonator, if you want something you can carry to the park or run around with on stage, this is what you're looking at. But if you're prepared to kind of deal with this, then go ahead. It's loud. It's got a great fat neck as well. And the neck's actually very similar to the neck on a Spanish guitar. It's very wide and there's loads of room to get fingers in there and do some picking, whilst also upright, being able to do this kind of, these kind of licks. You don't feel cramped when you play this guitar. There's loads of room, but it's something you got to get used to. So going from a neck that as skinny as this to kind of this is a huge jump and does feel weird at times, but I'm going to play this for you guys and talk about it a bit more. So, National guitars were the first people to kind of make resonators. Then if you want that kind of old school sound, and I don't know, I find this guitar really matches the tone of Sunhouse's style O. If you're looking for something a bit more modern, a bit more different, then I recommend looking at Mule, but they are a bit more expensive than Nationals in some senses. You can find a lot more second-hand Nationals at anywhere between £1,500 to £2,000, and this one was £1,500, so I got probably the best deal I could find for a National at the time. This, compared to that, this has more volume, more sustain, it's steel body as well, a much nicer neck, a much easier playing neck. But I would not get on stage with a rock band and try to incorporate this into a set. That's something I would do with this. And then at the same time, this isn't something I'd go and tune to standard tuning on and do some Elizabeth Cotton stuff. That's what this guitar is for. And then if I was going to a park to hang out with my friends and jam, I would take none of these and take this with me, because I don't have to worry about damaging this. It's already in a sorry state of affairs. So to sum it up, if you're doing Charlie Patton stuff or just want to experiment and dabble in slide guitar, get one of these before getting anything else. If you want a workhorse and want something to do a bit of everything, as well as be able to take it on stage or on the road, grab yourself one of these or something along the lines of this. If you're looking to do some songwriting or a professional grade acoustic guitar, maybe a recording guitar, get one of these. And then if you find yourself doing a bit of everything and find yourself doing a solo act kind of thing, this is kind of your answer. And if you have no money, then a diddly bow. Okay, man, well that's pretty much everything. There's all your options for anything you could ever possibly need. What are you thinking?
Do any of these gent?